Yet another rant. For some reason, this week is rant heavy. But and you know, I've never been one to give a fuck really about celebrity issues. I really haven't. But this Prince Harry Meghan shit for me just like is hitting home way harder than I thought it would, and. And because it's hitting hard, I think I'm getting really, really frustrated at some of the comments that are coming from people in response to this shit. Lots of it from within the black community especially, but like one of them that, and I think this is one that like a whole bunch of people are making, like, you know, this is just a publicity stunt. And you know, they could have just disappeared quietly, not talked about it ever again, but they went and did an interview with Oprah for the world to see. They just wanted to start some mess. They just want to be messy. They want the circus. They wanted the publicity. So they're fucking, you know, they're lying. Meghan's making up the shit about her being suicidal. This is all just a play. And that, I take issue with that, and I take issue with those people, I think. And maybe it's because obviously those people probably don't know what it's like to be abused psychologically in that way. And maybe it's because I think that I can understand what Meghan went through more than some people, because that's almost exact, like it's very similar to what happened to me in the Air Force. And it was very eerie watching the interview, because a lot of the things that she was saying and the things that she was feeling, I remember feeling and saying when I was going through what I was going through in the Air Force. If you want to know that story, there's a whole playlist about it. I'm not going to get into it right now. It's like over an hour long. There's a playlist. You can search that on your own. It's here on my channel. I'm not even going to get into it. But obviously they've never gone through that before, and I can tell you, as a survivor of that, first of all, some of the things that she has said that I remember saying myself, like, I don't want to be alive anymore. I think the world would be better off if I weren't in it. It would just be easier for everybody, you know, and just all of these psychological attacks. And especially because my situation definitely had some racist undertones as well. And race had so much to do with what I went through. Obviously, maybe a lot of you haven't gone through some bullshit like that. But coming on the record and telling what actually happened, that has nothing to do with publicity. And I'm sorry, but you know what? Nobody admits, like, it is a very hard thing to admit to being suicidal. It absolutely is. That is not something that typically people fake doing. Like, that is not something that people typically want to talk about, having those thoughts. And I'm sorry, but like, when your character has been defamed and damaged like that, yes, you want, like, honestly, yes, you are so fucking tired and you just want your peace and quiet. You want to get your energy back and you just want to separate yourself from that entire situation. But at the same fucking time, eventually there is a unquenchable thirst and urge to tell your side of the story when your complete image has been torn down and defamed and you are living in this shame. Like I said, guys, I fucking been there, man. And I completely understand why they did it, because I would fucking do it. Hell, I fucking did, man. A few years separated from what happened to me, but that urge is still there. And you know what? Last year, I came out. I told my story all over YouTube. I put it out there because there's like, you know, there's going through the abuse itself, and then there's the part of being silenced and not being able to speak up about what happened to you. That is fucking torture. It's fucking torture, especially when it obviously had to do with her race. And the fact that it's something that people don't want us to talk about. Like, people get fucking sick whenever black people play the race card, as if it's a fucking draw four in Uno that nobody else can beat because it's the race card. Like, it's not fun for us, man. It's not a fucking game, you know? But when enough things happen and there's a pattern and it damages you that fucking much, sending you into depression, causing you that fucking trauma, yeah, fuck that. There's definitely a desire to set the record straight to set the record straight about yourself, about your character, to protect your image. It's not about starting drama. It's not about getting attention. It's about being able to tell your story when you have been silenced for so long. When you've been silenced for so long, not just from like peer pressure, but honestly just for fearing for your fucking life. Fearing for your life, which again, I've been there. Fearing for your life. And it might take a long time for you to get to a safe place where you're ready to actually tell what happened to you, because the situation that you're in is so dangerous. And we'll obviously never know all of the ins and outs of what happened with her. But no, this is not, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, this is not a publicity stunt. And maybe I'll be proven wrong later on. But as of right now, from what I see, from what I've heard that she has gone through, and from my personal experience, and just wanting to get away from a really bad situation, but also having that urge to tell my story and let the world know, especially when these people have led the world to believe that she's this fucking villain or this piece of shit. Like I said, I have been there. No, you want to tell your side of the story. You want to. And if you have access to somebody like Oprah, where you can get it out to as many people as fucking possible, why fucking not? Because if I did, I would do the same. I absolutely would. And they're being nicer because I would have dropped names, which I did. I did drop names myself on YouTube because it's the closure you need. It's like when you are a victim of abuse like that, sometimes that is the closure you need. So no, it's not a fucking circus. It is absolutely necessary. I believe. Absolutely necessary. And I really just take issue with people writing that off as them lying, as them trying to get attention. No, it's not. And maybe you're fortunate enough to have never gone through something like that. But I believe that if you have, you will completely understand why they did what they did. And I support that. And I will never put down anybody who is brave enough to come forward and tell their story. And it's very impactful because of what Meghan testified about going through. It was quite an experience for someone like me who looks a little much like her, who went through something very similar, to see that I am not alone. So, fuck that, miss. Not having it.